No, I'm busy tonight, actually.
Hey, everybody. Good morning. Good Wednesday morning to you all. This is the Jerry Hotpants Club podcast. With you as always is Pete, and I'm accompanied by...
My name is Chris.
And back there on Riot Patrol as always...
Yusafio, the one and only.
Yes, sir. So, this morning what we want to talk about a little bit, maybe lighter, maybe pessimistic, but there's a movie me and Chris watched for research. I've seen it a bunch. It's called The Big Chill. It's from the 80s, mid-80s, about a bunch of idealistic hippies that became yuppies. So, you know, they were going to rebel against the system, and then they all became successful actors, doctors, lawyers.
That happens if you go to University of Michigan.
Yeah, they were all graduates of the University of Michigan in Ann Arbor, that evil place. A very liberal town.
Extremely liberal.
Very liberal town.
Maybe the most liberal in the country.
Probably, I'd have to say.
San Francisco.
And
Portland. Seattle.
Ann Arbor might top them all, but I've never been to those other places. And I don't know that I'll go anytime soon. So, the beginning of the movie, and I'm going to spoil the shit out of it for you, is the beginning of the movie is they get a phone call. This one couple gets a phone call that one of their friends has committed suicide. So all these people who were friends at the University of Michigan come together later in life, in middle age, late 30s, early 40s. They get back together for this funeral. And so they spend the weekend kind of in this existential crisis, really. Where's the time gone? Why is everybody different than the way they used to be? Chris's favorite line from the movie, what was it again?
Getting away from you people is the best thing that ever happened to me.
I say that about a lot of people today, actually. Actually, when I leave a meeting, sometimes I say that same exact shit. I say it to Richard. But anyway, so there's this feeling that I carry around. That's why I wanted to bring it up. My mortality never mattered to me. The fact that I was going to die soon or at any point or maybe never was something I never gave any thought to, I'm in my 40s now, and my health is in shit, and thanks to you two and a great many other people supporting me, I've decided to change that.
What'd you do today?
Went to the gym this morning with you guys.
All right.
Killed it.
Well, I got there, and my whole body feels like microwaved spaghetti noodles right now.
Mashed potatoes.
No, mashed potatoes has more form than I've got right now. That's without a doubt.
Lumpy mashed potatoes.
Yeah. No, that's
Redskins.
more consistency. This is like this is those instant mashed potatoes that you put too much milk in.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
I'm like a Ziploc bag full of wet mashed potatoes. So the movie stars a whole bunch of people that you don't see in movies anymore today.
Some of them. Goldblum was Goldblum in the new Jurassic Park?
He was
acting the same exact character in every movie, dude.
Well, that is yes, and
very Shatner-like.
William Hurt was in the movie. William Hurt, for you guys who are probably paying attention, he was Thunderbolt Ross in the Marvel Cinematic Universe for a while there. The guy who was trying to get the Hulk in that shitty Hulk movie with Edward Norton. Mm-hmm. And they brought him back later on in a few other movies. Anyway, he was also in Altered States. He turned into some Beast Man thing or whatever. That was all a long time ago. It had Glenn Close with her ugly ass.
And you saw her breasts in that movie, which I could have done without.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I Am Woman, Hear Me Roar, whatever. She's a great actress. One of the greats. Can't deny that. Fatal Attraction. She was in that movie. Also had Tom Berenger, right? Remember them shitty sniper movies? Just called Sniper?
Yes, actually I do.
Or The Substitute?
No, I'm thinking of The Substitute. I love The Substitute.
He was in the first one.
Oh, Substitute's hilarious. It's great. Yeah.
I loved it.
That was him.
I used to love
He was
those
the leather silk shirt guy.
Oh, yeah. The leathers. At one point in the movie, this dude has on You're not sure if he's like a Klingon or if he's got on a leather shirt, but it might be a leather shirt that they washed with hand soap and left out in the sun to dry. Like, it's like rock hard leather. It's crazy.
Oh, fuck them if they can't take a joke, you know. And that's they all come together. One of them, William Hurt's character, you know, he hasn't gotten his shit together. He's just bounced around meaningless job to meaningless job, and he's basically a drug dealer, you know. He drives all the way up there in a beat-to-shit Porsche with a whole bunch of cocaine and Quaaludes. And people kind of call him on his shit, and instead he wants to have this deep existential prose thrown at them. He wants to take their... basically sitting there taking their inventories like crazy. And they kind of zoom in on him when he says, wrong. You know, he says, I know that I loved you guys, but... and he says, no... we knew each other once for a short time, a long time ago, right? Mm-hmm. And in that moment, he's trying to excuse, and the way that I perceive it, he's trying to excuse his drifting away from his group of friends, right? Because we all kind of come up with a group of friends in our teenage years, right? We kind of come up with this core group of people. And then even if you don't go to college, still during the college years, you kind of stay in touch with them. I had a big group like that until I was about 30. And then I ran them all off and I identified with this character because I just wanted to bounce aimlessly around. But I wanted to tell everybody how wrong they were about so many things and how I had this deeper insight than they did because I was expanding my consciousness with narcotics, you know. I was brash. I was abrasive. I was not approachable. Nobody could have a conversation with me. Nobody wanted to be in the same room with me. And I latched onto this movie when I was about a year before I got clean. I saw it for the first time. I stayed up in the midst of withdrawal watching this movie, and I just fucking cried because I'm like, this is me. That's me right there. Everybody else has these successful lives going on, and here I am, just a fucking bump on a log, right? And so I reached 41 years of age. I'm not exactly successful in life, but I'm doing so much better than I've ever done. And I have a want for more. And I think that, you know, you two have helped me a lot with that, believe it or not. And it's crazy to think that, like, a year ago, I'm sitting here thinking, this motherfucker, I barely saw you at all, right?
Still barely see you, so.
Yeah. Yeah, because I'm just, you already know, I'm everywhere.
Yeah, but I at least see you twice a week now.
Yeah, very
when
true.
I hadn't seen you for like 6 fucking months.
Yeah,
you're in the group chat too. So
yeah, well, like when when COVID started is when I stopped kind of showing my face, and I just kind of dived into work. And after COVID, we all began to after the lockdowns or whatever you want to call it, when we all began to resurface again, that's when we all started like, oh my God, hey man, I remember you.
Well, I remember, and you had said around Christmas time, yeah, we got to do TikToks for the Die Hard as a Christmas movie thing.
Yes, that's how we, yeah, because I saw you doing all this you have this
obsession?
No. He has this thing that he does every year in regards to Die Hard, claiming that it's a Christmas movie.
Wait, stop.
It is a
Christmas.
It's
not a claim. It's a fact.
It's a Christmas movie.
Okay.
Set during Christmas.
But this is what it is. He makes the claim, and then other people. It is a Christmas movie.
Thank you.
It is. That's why when I saw that, I'm like, it's a fucking Christmas movie. And I see how people are like disagreeing with you, and I'm like, these motherfuckers.
If it's set during Christmas and it's like going on during Christmas, it would be like a Christmas movie.
Time out. Okay. So here's the argument, right? Lethal Weapon. Lethal Weapon is not a Christmas movie because it just takes place at Christmas. If you remove Christmas from the story, it's still the same fucking movie. Now, you try and remove Christmas from Die Hard, you have a different movie altogether. It's an everyday work day, work week day at Nakatomi Tower. Okay? There's more security around the building. There's more people around the building, right? And the FBI isn't going to come in on Christmas Eve and shut the power down on what they think is a terrorist negotiation dealie They're going to leave it to locals there because there's going to be more. If you take Christmas out of the story, all the elements necessary to make the plot happen don't happen. Thus,
see.
It is a Christmas movie. And one of the managers at work loves to disagree with me. He can eat my balls. So.
Fuck you, Mr. Gasson.
So we were talking about that, and then lo and behold, I lost the bet because I never went. Fuck, I owe you $30.
Yeah, I wasn't going to say nothing, but you do owe me $30.
Fuck. I think I got some money in the car.
Go Warriors.
Fuck Golden
We
State.
should mention that Golden State just won the 4th ring for Steph Curry here, and Steph got MVP. Way to go. Steph is the best shooter in NBA history. It is amazing.
You got 4 rings in how many years? 13?
Who, Steph?
Yeah.
I don't know. They made it, I don't know, 9 or 10 or something. I don't know. He's got he's got like 3-point records, and he's still going. Like, it's crazy. You got to double team him when he comes across half court because he can shoot it from there, and it goes in. It's wild.
I know. I'll give him credit. I hate Golden State, but
you got to double team a guy at half court. Usually, like, think of Shaq. You got to double team him like in the block.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? But this guy, you got to double him at half court, which is going to leave somebody open down low. It's like shit.
Okay, I mean, okay. All right, I'll subscribe to that to agree with you, which
it's wild.
Always is painful. It's, I would rather get electroshock to my balls than agree with you on it.
And speaking of Michigan, they got a player on their team named Jordan Poole who went to Michigan, and he was the best free throw shooter in the league this season. Mm-hmm. Which is funny to say. He's the best free. He plays with Steph Curry. You know what I'm saying? The best shooter ever. But he had a better free throw percentage than Steph, and he makes like half court shots too. So shout out Jordan Poole. He's an up and coming star.
So what's going on over there, Yusa? You seem puzzled.
He's Canon camera.
I'm just doing all the behind the scenes things.
All the techie stuff.
Okay. So you're still vested though, right?
I am.
Okay. So the reason that I wanted to
put your phone down, Yusuf.
Yeah. Oh, got him. All right. So
let's get back to the movie. The Big Chill. Can we say the soundtrack was amazing?
Oh, my God. So much good shit on there.
When you Google it, like, the thing that comes up is, like, the movie, the trailer, and then the soundtrack. Is like, the soundtrack is really, 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 really good.
I mean, it's giving me goosebumps thinking about it. It really, because I listened to it when I left here yesterday.
Can you pull them up, or do you know them off the top of your head?
So, let's see. Heard It Through the Grapevine by Marvin Gaye opens the movie. You Can't Always Get What You Want by the Stones. Jeremiah Was a Bullfrog. Yep. There we go. Tell 'Em by Burt Burns. Whiter Shade of Pale by Procol Harum. What a silly name. Good Lovin' by Rudy Clark and Arthur Resnick. Performed by the Rascals, though. I didn't know that. Ain't Too Proud to Beg, My Girl, Wouldn't It Be Nice by the Beach Boys. The Weight by the band, one of the greatest songs ever. Give Me Some Lovin', Spencer Davis Group. Bad Moon Rising, CCR. I mean, it just goes on, and when a man loves a woman, you make me feel like a natural woman in the midnight hour. I second that emotion. Joy to the world.
Can't have those songs in 2022.
No, you can't. And it sets the tone. It sets the tone. There's a lot of cynicism in the movie, Like there's that scene where William Hurt and that little short lady, that's trying to get everybody to get her pregnant over the weekend.
Yeah.
Is she like...
Talk about a weekend.
Yeah, I know, right?
I don't care who it is. Let's pick one of you.
Except for Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah. Definitely.
Except for Jeff Goldblum. But
that's where I would go too. I would definitely say no to Jeff Goldblum.
Why, bro? Back in the day, he was the man.
No, he was kind of a sleaze bag in this movie. Not really,
in the movie
but like
he was? Okay.
Yeah, he was like, dead dude's girlfriend who's like 10, 15 years younger than everybody else. He immediately hits on her like at the funeral. He's all like, "Oh, hey,"
Okay, what's wrong with that?
Okay. hit on a girl at almost every funeral I've been at, and
No.
I've been like chastised by my friends, like, dude, you can't be. I was like, he would have wanted me to, bro. Like, trust me. Like,
I was the next in line. We talked about it.
not like his like girl or nothing, but even one of our friends' funerals, somebody tried to. All of a sudden, I was getting this girl slid my DMs like at the funeral, like, hey, blah blah blah.
Are you talking about the one we went to last summer?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Wow. Well,
Funerals
look at the
famous.
group of people. Anyway, so
Funerals, good place to pick up chicks.
they're in the car. Yeah, it is kind of. They're in the car in the funeral procession, and she says, "Yeah, I talked to him the night before he died." And William Hurt says to him, "Yeah, that's probably why he killed himself."
Doesn't she say we had sex like the day before he died too?
No,
later
that
in
was
the movie?
the girlfriend. I'm talking about the little
Yeah.
lawyer lady.
Oh,
She
okay.
says that. Yeah, I talked to him the night before she died.
Yeah.
Before he died, well, that's probably why he killed himself. And then they cut away and they come back. It's like, what'd you talk about anyway? Well, he said he was tired of his life and he didn't want to live anymore. so maybe she did push him over the edge. Who knows? But then later on in the movie,
Suicide is not funny. If you
No,
feel like
it's
killing yourself,
not.
what's the suicide hotline for?
Just reach out to somebody.
Yeah,
There's a phone number you call and they pick up and they talk to you all
This
gentle.
is one of the moments where you put it up on the screen, Yusuf.
What's the suicide? Is it 411? No, it's not 411.
No, but you suicide prevention awareness, et cetera, right? Yusuf,
I can.
are you going to remember to do?
I will remember. Just shoot me a text message too to remind me.
Okay, well I'll do that later. Well, or Chris could do it now. Put it in the group thread. So
You can text home to 741-741, or you can call 1-800-273-8255. That's a national suicide prevention hotline.
Mm-hmm.
If you call them, I know there's a veterans crisis line too, 1-800-273-8255. Press 1. They will talk to you all soft and gentle.
So later on in the movie, we cut to they're cruising around. I think they were going to get like groceries or something. They were just in the car. And they were talking about some deep shit, and she just blurts out. Now, this is the girlfriend, the younger girlfriend. She's like, yeah, we had sex the night he died, and it was amazing. And everybody's just looking at him like, yeah, okay. This girl was, and you kept bringing it up. She just seems so removed.
Yeah, she didn't seem really
Affected.
super bothered by it, and she was just like there.
Yeah.
And she was like okay more than everybody else. Everybody else was like crying and going through like pain, and she was just like numb, oblivious almost.
Because later on, William Hurt's trying to talk to her and say, ask her a little bit about her background. And she says, I don't know. I don't like talking about my past as much as you guys do.
Yeah.
And so they have this weekend where they're all kind of reminiscing. They're catching each other up and where they're at in their life. There's adultery involved in this story. It's just like it's a mini melodrama of the human condition.
Cocaine and adultery.
Yeah, there's cocaine in the movie. There's Quaaludes. There's
Booze. There's
yep,
all kinds of things going on.
Really shitty brown Mexican weed.
Yeah, it's funny.
Really brown. Fucking, you can see the seeds and stems and shit. It's
Those
bad.
were the days.
Right, 1983. The only thing whiter than the cocaine was my dad and stickweed, which probably wasn't. When you think about it, that was the era of everything else. Weed was not fashionable. It really wasn't. It was.
Yeah.
It had already blown.
It's
by.
right after disco, so it's right before. It's right as cocaine becomes crack.
Yep. And then once crack hit, it was like, well, we got to bring weed back because it's getting out of control.
Yeah.
But the movie itself,
Fuck you, Bush and Clinton.
yeah,
We gotta mellow these motherfuckers out. Bring out the weed.
yeah, the medicinal fucking dick in the dirt weed.
The
So
Medus.
the movie has, it just kind of flows from beginning to end as like,
Yeah, what is going on in the, what's the overarching theme of the movie? Is that people change?
yes, I believe it is. And
Do people don't always stay the same? People are allowed to change. It's weird when people change.
so remember when the cop pulls over the drug dealing guy on the property, right?
Yeah.
And after the cop leaves.
He's like, when did you become friends with the police?
And then he says, that guy stopped the house from getting ripped off twice, and he's a hell of a man. And then he basically tells him to grow the fuck up. So it's like, at what point in your life do you reach that point where being a young, tough guy that fucking knows everything, and you're going to, fight the power, when is it that was just a bullshit persona? Is it fighting the power accomplishes nothing and you're never going to win?
Also, that police officer, he says that the guy runs a red light. He follows him all the way to the house and then gets out and proceeds to just talk to him. Now, if I run a red light and the police come behind me with their lights on and I drive all the way to my house, the entire precinct is going to be behind me and whoop my ass in my driveway. Like, that's how that would go today. You don't stop after the red light, you're going to prison now for fleeing and eluding and all a gang of shit.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I know cops used to, like, if you were drunk and you were like near your house, they'd be like, "Hey, go home." Or like my grandfather told me when he got his license. My grandfather's been dead for like 15 years, so it was a long time ago he got his license. He sent away for it in the mail. It came in the mail. He got it at 14. He went and picked up his friends. They went and bought beer, and they drove around drinking beer in the car.
Yeah.
That's how, you know what I'm saying? And now there's just so many laws, and these cops just have to enforce all of them. And, yeah, man, if the cop's going to let you go, I don't know. Some of that's not really realistic. But.
Well, again, it is a movie, but
Right.
there was a point they were trying to come to, and I think that it's, as we grow older and we grow apart from the people that because ultimately the story really truly is about love. It really is, because at the end of it all, they're able to kind of...
Who knocks the girl up? Does someone knock the girl up eventually?
Yeah, old dude's husband. So, guy that committed suicide had an affair with Glenn Close, and Glenn Close was married to Kevin Kline, right?
Okay.
So... little lawyer lady comes down. She wants one of these guys to basically be a stud for her and get her knocked up.
Is it because she's a professional and she's working all the time, but now she's starting to feel that she needs an offspring?
Kind of.
Okay, one of those. Okay,
Yeah,
got it.
Yep. And so she says, "Oh, these are the best people I've ever known." And then there's that moment where Glenn Close is like, "Hey, it would probably be good for, her to have somebody that she respects be the one." But also what they never really talk about, but the way I've always taken it is like, you want to get your emotions off the hook for fucking cheating on your husband with a guy who's now dead. So what better way than to let your husband cheat on you? Now it's like, whenever he wants to bring that up, like, "Hey, remember that time I let you cheat on me?"
That's some fucked up toxic hillbilly shit. Let me tell you, you should not.
That is some fucked up Bay City Baytown bullshit right there, too.
Oh, shit.
That is some Essexville Trade Winds shit right
I think
there.
they did that in Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and DJ Jazzy Jeff's girlfriend told Will Smith, she was like, "Will, I need your little soldiers."
Boy, there's something we ain't heard about in a while.
Oh, Will Smith?
Yeah, you're going to hear about that motherfucker for a while.
Shit.
That shit didn't bother me in the least bit.
No, it didn't, but you want to know what?
Chris Rock and Chappelle are doing a tour, I think.
Are they touring together? Well, Chris Rock is with... They've been at the shows together.
I want to say Rock's going to be in Mount Pleasant this weekend. It's a rescheduled show. It's a rescheduled show from February. I tried to get tickets, and it's rescheduled from February. All the tickets are
Is it
gone.
sold out?
Yeah.
You might be able to get them on StubHub or something.
Yeah, for twice the price.
They were like $100 to begin with. So
the story's about love ultimately in the end.
wait, one thing. Chris Rock, when I saw Chappelle in Flint like 3 years ago, he called you live. You talked on the mic. You said you were going to come to Flint and do a show, and you haven't. Come to Flint and do that show, Chris Rock.
That's the real reason you got slapped, bitch.
If I was Will Smith, I would have slapped him with a stick. That's the new 21 Savage line on this new Drake album.
So ultimately, it's about love. The movie is about love because at the end, they all make up. They have this, old guys.
So you're allowed to change and mature and still love, unconditional love, right?
You can go through all these big changes in life, going from the idealistic hippies that were gonna, like they said in the movie, pull together and buy land near Saginaw.
Yeah, that's right.
And they said, why didn't we do that? Oh, we didn't have any money. And
I'll
they
tell
said
you why.
owning land was being the devil back then. You know, that was, and because that was the thought of like the movement, if you will. And then that's why my favorite line in the whole movie is they're chit chatting back and forth, and he says, "Who'd have thought? Here I am, this successful businessman, and here you are, this successful actor. You know, what would they say now about us?" And he says, "Oh, fuck them if they can't take a joke." You know, and it's the absolute truth. Like, they found a way to get successful. They didn't sit there and go, "I'm not going to sell out to the man, bro."
They probably did, but they changed their mind when they were like, "Oh, I got to eat, so I need to make money."
That's right. Like the whole Occupy fucking Wall Street idiots, right? We're going to sit here in tents and beat bongos.
That turned into a shit show. But it's if you look at what happened down there and you look at how the things that happen, it's very informative to how like it would go if it was just left up to the most ignorant of us to run the show.
And that's where we're heading.
It needs to be some type of I don't know.
Vote Team Soha
Let the
for
smart people
president.
run the show. Yeah, vote Team Soha. Let your country go down the toilet.
Oh, because you're going to unify us? You're going to unite us?
Look, if I
had to be president, I would, but I would give away power to...
Did you call him the Great Unifier?
The Great Unifier.
Chris Crave's the Great Unifier.
I would continue to decentralize power as much as I could.
He's going to be the fifth head on Rushmore.
Great Unifier.
Did you see that photo when Trump was at Rushmore where he like lined up like perfectly with Rushmore so that his face was like right over it?
Jesus Christ. They might as well just
troll the shit out of everybody. You guys say he did it on purpose.
I really don't think he is serious about anything. I think he just enjoys the fact that he was elected president, you know, stupidly.
Well, I think it's ironic that when Obama was elected, he was the loudest personality to say, like, this dude's got FAFSA money and his name was Barry something. Who is this person? Where's his parents? And then they called him a truther. He was the loudest person. He was on cable news, like, repeatedly saying, he filed for FAFSA money and his name was Barry Sorrento. Who is this person? And then he becomes president 8 years later.
No.
So it was ironic.
No, there's no irony to it. It was all posturing from the get-go. Trump, as dumb as he is one of the smartest men in the history of this fucking country because he began the groundwork to be able to take office in the first place years before it became a reality.
He's on Oprah and she's talking about it.
Back in the day.
He says that he's like, I wouldn't want to, but I would if I had to. I'm sick of seeing the country get ripped off by Kissinger and Bush and Clinton and the World Trade Organization and NAFTA and these horrible trade deals.
I remember as a kid seeing his face on different things like Home Alone 2 and just never understanding who the fuck he is. Until like the last couple years. I'm like, who the fuck is this guy?
He was always cool like in the rap industry.
I never understood who the fuck he was.
And...
Like, who is this guy? Until recently, I'm like, okay.
He's a guy.
He's a guy.
So we were kind of talking the other day, Chris, about the actual meaning of what love is with people, right?
Okay.
Well, you were talking about it. What was your thought there?
I don't know. I'm trying to think. When we were talking about narcissists?
I believe maybe. But you said something that kind of stuck out to me, and I'm...
Oh, yeah. I think that's what you're...
I don't know. Give me a clue.
We're all sitting here going, bye! What are we talking about?
I don't know what I said then, but to me, love is...
And I'm not talking in the romantic sense.
Okay,
here.
well, the love that I've been taught is from the Bible, from Jesus. It's a sacrificial love. The greatest form of love is that I would die to protect you even if you hated me. So, like, if I had a son who was bad and didn't like me, but I would still do things to love him and protect him and give him the world, even if he was bad and hated me. Like, I would still... do unconditionally I would take care of you. I would sacrificial love. I would die to save you. That's the story of the cross. So that to me is the greatest form of love. I would die to protect you even if you hate me.
Okay, not what I was.
All right, I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about, so come up with it, man. What'd I say?
No. That's, I mean, love in regards to your fellow man, right? The discussion we have a lot about you don't have to like somebody to love them. Having patience with people. If it wasn't for that type of love, you know, people saying, like, hey, Pete, man, I love you.
Oh, that. Oh, and love should be the default. So everybody should, when you meet anybody, you should be like, but it seems like people have to like earn your love, earn your trust, earn your respect, earn like that I would like go out of my way for you. But like it seems, and it's like weird, like if you just like meet a girl and like the first day you're just like, I love you, she's gonna be like, this motherfucker's crazy and I'm never talking to him. Yeah. But like the default should be like, I love everyone, I want the best for you, I want good things to happen to you, I hope you eat good food today and get home and have a great day and you're happy. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like the default is love. But if you're walking around like, hope that motherfucker gets hit by a car, I hope this, like that's almost like what's kind of the, I don't know, kind of like
the situation right now.
Yeah,
it is. And I'm guilty of having
like a bad attitude towards it, right? Towards everyone, like kind of like the New York tough kind of thing. Like,
so like let's for instance say that when a girl sees another girl with a nice person, instead of going, oh man, that's a nice purse, they go, this bitch thinks she's hot. You know?
Yeah. Well, it's,
and when you put that energy out, you get it back too.
100%.
It's cross culture. So like I know plenty of people right now, male and female both, where they just went through some silly ass shit with their significant other or somebody they were trying to date, right? And man, this motherfucker's crazy, right? That's all I hear about. This motherfucker's crazy. And then they doing some crazy ass shit themselves and wondering, well, I don't know why this motherfucker's crazy. You know? And that's what I'm getting at with the love thing. If I say to somebody, hey man, I love you. If I say to a woman, hey man, I love you. To my dad, you know, I don't feel like it ought to be a different, well, the love for my father is different than the love that I have for my friends. It should be unconditional. Right. It should be. I'm not going to love Nazis, right? I'm not. Yeah,
because they've proved to be not worthy of that. And like I said, my greatest fault in life is usually being too loyal to friends, women, and jobs that I shouldn't be loyal to.
Yeah,
you can see that in my life currently. And
same here, though.
Yeah. But I've heard other people say that's not necessarily a bad thing. Maybe it's a good trait. It's just like something that you're going to have to know is part of you. You know what I mean?
Everybody.
See, here we go. This guy.
I know we have just the different view on this, but I love people, man, but fuck everybody is my default.
He's like, but I love my cats.
I love those motherfuckers.
And I hate your cats.
I'm
in your house 5 minutes and I want to saw my own head off.
You have to take an allergy med.
So I was out to dinner with little Eric on Friday before the meeting. Yep. And I could have, dude, I was sneezing and my eyes were watering the entire time. And he's like, well, you got to stop and get some Zyrtec or something. Yeah, sounds like a good idea. But do you think I picked any up at least the next day? And I don't know why. I'm so goddamn stubborn. I gotta sit here and be fucking miserable the whole time. Getting away from you people is the best thing that ever happened to me. Getting away from you people is the best thing that ever happened to me. There's people I want to say that to.
Everyone
like I want to sit them down and I want to start off with a conversation of like, hey, things are good, things are great, checking in back and forth, everything's great. We have this grand meal, and at the end of the meal, I want to say that to them. Getting away from people.
You just want to tell people off?
It's not that I want to tell them off, right? I have this self-righteous indignation where I want to tell them I'm doing so much better, and it's because you motherfuckers are not in my life.
You want to take away from their value.
I don't know if it's that. I want to increase mine.
Well, everyone's got to get away from, like, I feel like wherever you're born, wherever you grow up, like sometimes people will, even my parents to this day will still think that I'm like the same like 14-year-old kid.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They'll like treat me like I'm that's, you know what I mean? I'm almost 40 and shit, and I'll be like, Ma, you can't, like, I don't even try. I'll just get like frustrated and just like don't say shit and like kind of wait for him to stop and then go do what I was gonna do anyway at this point.
Yeah.
But if what do they say? Prophet is never like recognized in their own town or something like that.
Exactly.
Yeah, so you gotta like go out and people pigeonhole you into this like one thing that you are, like you're always that person.
Absolutely.
You're not allowed to change, and that's where the movie kind of is like.
Who did you hear
you're
that
allowed
from
to
recently,
change.
that saying?
What?
That they'll deny you in your own town.
I think it's in the Bible.
When Peter denied Christ 3 times.
Yeah.
Oh, that one?
That right there is so good for business, too, because I've been playing that in my mind all the time.
What, they're going to deny us?
Yeah, be like, hey, man, even in his own town, they played him out and punked him out.
Well, eventually they'll be like, they'll see you trying to do something, and they'll be like, that motherfucker, you can't do that shit, blah, blah, blah. But, like, somebody from out...
Yeah, I saw him walking on water, but
right.
He can't swim.
Right.
you know?
Yeah. And I like where you're going with that because I've lived in this town my entire life. I have never, the only time I've ever lived anywhere else was 30 days in rehab up north.
You got pulled over by a cop last summer because of who you were.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Because he recognized my head. It's not my plates. It's my head. It's a big head.
It's a weird shaped head.
It's a big old fucking package of hot dogs. So, at least it's not as weird shaped as you know who's. We talked about it earlier.
Oh, Jerry.
No, not Jerry.
The hairless gorilla?
Yeah, Magilla Gorilla. The grape ape himself.
That cigar and that corn hat. Isn't that what he wore?
Yep. Wasn't he in like a fucking dollar store window or something? God, you know what? He's just going to fucking either beat me or eat me to death one day. So, I've lived here my whole life, and there's this expectation that he's just going to, he ain't going to amount to shit. And I have a lot of people that support me today in my life. I have a lot of people backing me up and telling me I'm doing good, and they're proud of me. Mm-hmm. But then it kind of comes to when the rubber meets the road, right? I'm not doing it to impress them. I'm not doing anything to impress anybody. I have to be doing all this shit to better my life, I'm sitting here exhausted as fuck right now and irritable as shit because I want a cigarette. Somebody threw my fucking vape in the road after the meeting yesterday.
God bless him.
I know. I want a Red Balls.
That guy is your friend. How nuts is that?
Right?
That takes a lot of balls for somebody to just come and be like, bro, I'm doing this for you.
No, it wasn't pleasant. He's like, give me the fucking thing now. Give me the fucking thing. I'm gonna fucking take it. Give it to me right now.
Did you just tell him you were gonna go buy another one? Like,
no, I handed it over, and then I started to say some shit, and my sponsee says, "Well, here comes the rationalization, the justifications." I'm like, shut up! Everybody in front of me, shut up. Because they're absolutely right. What a fucking miracle it is that I have these people that love me in my life today, right? These guys didn't know the old me, but they don't need to see the old me getting high and doing all that silly shit. They can see how I am today and how my life will become unmanageable if I fucking just,
Well, that guy that threw your vape in the road, he recognizes the journey that you're trying to embark on. So that guy is in your shoes. He feels it in his nutsack. So he's like, bro, I got you.
Yeah.
That motherfucker was looking good yesterday, bro. I'm like, bro, you look good. I don't think he understood it, but I'm like, bro, you look good.
He does. I want that beard.
Bro, he's got it's so healthy and colorful.
Majestic.
It's saturated with color. Like, I don't know how else to explain it. That motherfucker pops.
His head kind of looks like a cheesecake.
A cheesecake? I don't know.
Like an upside down cheesecake.
Oh my gosh.
So it's not. We didn't go to Dick's. So
Yeah.
there we go. Okay.
What's wrong with recognizing that another
damn
man
near
looks...
sucking dick.
Okay, so we're coming up on that time. What would you recommend from what you saw, what you were engaged with? Would you recommend the movie?
Yeah, it takes place in like one setting, and it's all dialogue. So you're probably gonna have to watch it a couple times to catch everything.
Yeah,
or be like Adderall the hell out and really tuned into it.
Again, we don't endorse or condone that. Yusef, you didn't see the movie, so what are your thoughts? Is this something you want to see?
Well, from what
Based
you're
on what
telling
we're
me,
saying?
if you're telling me that it's in one location, all right, and you've told me the actors, so what I've taken from what you guys have said is it's a movie that is it's talent driven.
Yes.
That's what I've ascertained is it's talent driven. So that right there speaks to me right away. It's not special effects and
No.
you know, all that other bullshit. It's talent driven, and that's something that's kind of beginning to die off as the years, you know, like as we move on. So that speaks to me. I'm definitely going to have to check it out.
Okay.
And I like Jeff Goldblum too.
The
And Kevin
soundtrack
Kline.
is fucking. It's so good.
Some movies like really dialogue, but some Tarantino movies or like Clerks or something like that, where it's like lots of dialogue.
Tarantino and Kevin Smith all the way. I love you guys.
I live the movie Clerks every fucking day.
Yes, only with more drug addicts involved.
Many more. And nobody's beating eggs against the fucking cooler door. You know what they're doing back there?
Beaten
Meat. So.
That's your cue, Yusuf.
Okay. So, you guys have a fantastic Wednesday. And remember, don't sweat the petty things and don't pet the sweaty things.
Later.
Dicks! No, I'm busy tonight, actually.